O Great Spirit, Namaste. Saints and sages of all times, of all places, Namaste. O ye pathmakers of old, Namaste. Ancestors, ancestors, ancestors of all of the lineages to whom we attune, Namaste. Most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names and all of thy forms, Namaste. O ye powers that be, sweep clear our path, that this time together be blessed, that we might hear that which is most meaningful, that we might act with the greatest and highest wisdom. Om Saha Navavatu Sahanao Bunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadidam Astu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. Namaste. Welcome. It is a joy to see you, to be with you this morning. Do you remember Swami Pranananda? Do you remember him? Pranananda, the great dear friend of the Lord Ganesh. He leads the little temple just down the way. Well, this is the story of Swami Pranananda and how his devotion, his friendship with the Lord got him out of a tight spot when he was a very little boy, and how it led to his life today. When Prananandaji, before he became a Swami, was born, his mother and father would do puja every day. They would sing the mantra, they would offer the incense, and they would offer the sacred jyoti light, the arti light. And they each had a form of the divine that they were attuned to. But the family particularly loved the Lord Ganesh. And as in most Indian homes, Lord Ganesh was at the door when you came in. As in this ashram, Lord Ganesh is in many, many rooms, greeting and welcoming us. So, Pranananda, when he was old enough to hold the incense light, would wave the incense. When he was 6, Mom and Dad let him wave the light, and he began very early to learn mantra. Life went on. He turned 12. One day, walking to school, a big truck roared into the village, and 2 men jumped down from the back of the truck and grabbed Manu and lifted him up into the truck, and the truck raced off. Oh, he was quite shocked. They put a blindfold over him, a gag on his mouth. This was the worst experience he'd ever had. Om Gam Ganapataye, Om Gam Ganapataye, Om Gam Ganapataye. No help from Lord Ganesh yet. They drive a ways. He gets dragged up the stairs of a very cold smelly, dirty building. They flung open the door, and there were 6 boys, all his age, all shackled to a chain, all in their own beds made of iron. You know, those icky beds, no mattresses. They threw him on a bed, shackled him, and they said, "Here, drink this," and gave him a little chapati to eat and a little tiny bit of lentil soup to drink. He downed it and lay in the bed, very, very, very frightened. He'd been safe his whole life. Mom and Dad and brother loved him. Grandparents loved him. He'd never imagined anything like this happening in his life. Next morning, big man walks in. They called him Bhima, the big. Clump, clump, clump. And he had a switch in his hand. "You will learn." Grabbed, unchained him, grabbed him, took him into the next room and said, "You will learn to make carpets. We will teach you, and you will do nothing but make carpets for me." Manu didn't know what to do, but he knew he'd better get along. And so Bhima had a shadow, if you will, named Duma the shadow. And Duma taught Manu to weave. Several weeks go by, and Manu was weaving, and Manu was thinking, and he, all that they did was weave all day long, 12 hours a day. And they got very little to eat, and they were chained up when they weren't weaving, shackled when they were. So he thinks and thinks and thinks, and he keeps seeing Ganeshaji. He's got an idea. The next day, the very next morning, Pranananda, the shadow, comes in. Manu, Ananda says, "Can I talk to you before everybody else wakes up?" "Sure. I have an idea how we can increase productivity." "Oh. You want to please Biju, don't you? Yeah, you want to make him happy." Yes. He's very mean when he's unhappy. We can increase productivity, and I know how to do it. But I need your help." "Okay. What do we do?" "Well, you see, I know how to do puja to the Lord Ganesh. And you know that the Lord Ganesh, they say he's the Lord of happiness, of joy, but of wealth. They say Lord Ganesh is the Lord of wealth, and he will bring you wealth. And if we do puja to him every day, why, I know I will work better, and I know the boys will work better." "All right, what do you need?" And so Manu says what he needs. Next morning comes, and there for him a stick of incense and a candle and some almonds and some water. so happy. He says, I think maybe we need to take some of the cardboard off of the window because, Lord Ganesh likes to have light, and he would like it if the light came in when we did the ritual. Please, I'm telling you, he likes it. All right. So together they pry the cardboard off the window, and light shines through. And Manu is astonished. There's a tree right outside the window, so close that if he could just get it, he and all the boys could scramble down and get away. He doesn't say anything. He begins the ritual. Lights the candle, lights the incense. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And makes the offerings to Lord Ganesh. At the end of the ritual, he hands almonds to Dhumananda, and all the boys scrambled over to get their share of the almond offerings. And everyone was happy that day. As happy as you can be, working nonstop, making carpets, locked and chained, but they were happy. And this went on for days and days. Same thing every morning, days, weeks. Days turned into weeks. Week turned into a moon cycle. But productivity increased. One morning, a little boy whispered across to Manoananda, "When is Ganesh going to get us out of here?" And Manoananda went, and the little boy didn't ask again. So it goes on and on and on. Finally, the day of the full moon comes. And in walks Bhimananda the Big. But he comes right in the middle of the puja. Oh no! What are you doing? We do not do anything but work here. We do not do puja. We work. You work. But, Dhumananda, stuttering. But let me show you, the production's increased. Look. Bhimananda is angry, really angry. And he sweeps through the room. He goes over to the puja area and he knocks all the incense off. He knocks the almonds off. He knocks the jyoti light off. And the light falls into the silk thread and into the material and into the looms, and a fire starts. And it begins to sweep through the room. And he gets very angry. And he races around, yelling and screaming, and he trips. And he falls flat on his face, and he breaks his leg. And the fire is spreading. Anyway, so the story goes. The boys are unlocked from their shackles. when Bhimananda throws Manoananda the key. And Bhima the big and Dhumananda crawl out of the building, and the boys are stuck. But are they? Oh. Manoananda goes to the window, calls the boys over to him, and looking out there, who is there waiting but his friend? Lord Ganesh is there. He's there smiling. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, my dear. And he holds his arms open. Come, come, come. Now the tree is not close enough. And Manoananda looks at Ganesh and said, my beloved, could you help? Ah, of course. Oh, he moves his trunk, and the tree moves close to the window. And the boys scramble down. Manoanandaji last. He thanks the tree and says, I think you better move over, away from the building. And the tree moves far away from the building. And the Lord reaches out his hand. Manu lifts up his hand and said, my Lord, may we go home. I would like to grow up to be a Swami, to just be able to spend my days and my nights serving you, devoted to you. Please. I think, my friend, we can make that happen. And that's the story of how Manu became Manoananda, became Swami Manoananda. For when he got home, he asked to sweep the floors of the temple. Day after day, he swept the floors. Day after day, he listened and learned the mantra, listened and learned the puja, listened and learned and listened and learned. Until at 16, he became a full-fledged Swami, able to devote his time, his energy, to serving. Now, it's a nice story. What does it have to do with you and me? Manoanandaji found one thing that he really, really loved, that he was very, very, very devoted to. His Ishtadevata. And every day, he would sing, he would chant, he would offer the incense. As he'd walk through the village on his way to school, he'd see his friend in the window and he'd wave. Just like you wave to your mom or your dad or your children or your grandchildren or your friends when you see them. Hi, hi. On the way back, hi, hi. During the day, hi, hi. I'm so glad to see you. He became known as the dearest friend of the Lord Ganesh because he devoted his energy, his thoughts, his time, his talents to paying attention to the Lord. He was enthusiastic, my beloved. He was enthusiastic. He didn't walk in to the temple one day a month and say, Namaste, here's my love offering. Please do a puja for me. See you next month. He didn't even say, please, 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 please. I need. But rather, oh, I am so joyful to be in your presence. I am so joyful. And he took that joy with him to every part of life. Now, like Manoji, Pranananda, all of us have times in our lives where unexpectedly something really discombobulating happens, if you like, something that changes our life. Maybe our beloved gets sick very unexpectedly, and maybe our beloved transitions always sooner than we wish. Maybe a job that we wanted, that we thought would be really good for us, doesn't come to fruition. Maybe finances are tight. Maybe our own health is challenged. Maybe the children don't do what we would like them to do, or they don't live their lives the way we would like them to. What is to be done? Maybe there are times in your life, and I know there have been for all of us, where the beauty of life was a little rough. It wasn't quite as ease-filled as we would like it to be. And it is at those times that we need to say, okay, what do I do? If I have something, if you have something that you have become enthusiastic about, that you have been able to be joy-filled about, day after day after day after day, it will feed you during those times. It will sustain you during those times. It will vivify you during those times. Now, it doesn't matter what that thing is. You don't have to be like Manu, loving mantra. Why, it could be that you really like to cut the grass. I have a neighbor who's not on the earth anymore, but a lovely, lovely man, and he really did like to cut his grass. He got great joy in cutting his grass. He did it 3 times a week during the season. And he'd start the season as early as he could and carry it as long as he could. He really just liked to cut his grass. He liked to be on his riding mower out there, and, he was enthusiastic about it. And you could see he'd get off of his mower and he'd be just, he'd be beaming. He'd be beaming. Anything that brings you enthusiasm, anything that brings you a snippet of joy, a light of joy when life feels heavy. These are the things that we need to cultivate. Maybe it's taking a bath. That's a good one for me. Maybe it's curling up with a book that you know, that you love, that comforts you. Or watching an old favorite movie that you've enjoyed. Or drawing, or painting, or rock climbing, or polishing your car. It doesn't matter what the action is that you choose. It matters that it is something, that you find something in your life that will bring you joy, that will bring you happiness every day. Now, sometimes all that you have to do is take the mind's eye and turn the prism and say, oh, look, I want to become more aware. And so when you walk down the street, you see, oh yes, there's the flowers. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that amazing? You know, you can walk down the street and you can see these little tiny petite yellow and white and pink flowers peeking through the sidewalk or coming through the grass. Or you can see the clover. I was at a family member's house this weekend, and they live in the south, and their whole backyard, in their big backyard, and very hilly, but there were big chunks of it where there were wild strawberries growing, and the most petite little tiny wild strawberries coming up in the grass. There was nobody out there. I mean, there was nobody to cause disturbance, but it was so beautiful. It was just so beautiful to look down and see these little tiny infinitesimal specks of red. Become enthusiastic about life. It takes effort and it takes an attitude. Now, you may not know what to become enthusiastic about. You may feel like, well, I have to work. Yeah, it's true. Have to cook, have to feed, have to go to the grocery store, have to wash the clothes. There's an awful lot of things that have to be done to sustain one's life upon the earth. But you can gain enthusiasm about any of those things. You know, one of my fellow Swamis loves to vacuum. I'm not exaggerating. We've stayed on retreat, shared houses many times together. And the first thing that she does when she gets in the house is she vacuums. She feels comforted by it, and she's sure that it's as clean as she would like to make it. But she can talk to you about vacuum cleaners and the best vacuum and what does the best. And I've never, until I saw her do that, I had never met anybody who was so enthusiastic about vacuuming, enthusiastic about vacuums and the machinery, and what a blessing they are. Now, I've never been able to vacuum the same. Every time I vacuum, I try. I have not succeeded, but I try to sup upon her enthusiasm for that Kriya, that action. She can become so absorbed in that action that she just simply finds joy in it, anandic bliss in it. Now, really, how do I say this? One of the obstacles along the way is discouragement. One of the greatest obstacles is to become discouraged. And we become discouraged when life doesn't go the way we would like it to. We become discouraged when we're trying and trying and trying and trying, and our efforts do not come to fruition at the time that we would like them to, or in the way that we would like them to. And we see other people trying and trying and trying, or it doesn't look like they've tried and tried, but we see them having what we would like. Now, in life, we have to remember that great piece of yogic wisdom. It is, you don't have to, but it's a great piece of yogic wisdom, which says that life's delays are not life's denials. And remembering this will help you when your mind might tend to become discouraged and might tend to say, This is never going to end. Everything that has a beginning, my beloved, has an ending. And making peace with that. Everything with a beginning has an ending. We're in a world of kala, of time. You live in a world of time. This had a beginning. Manu Ananda's life had a beginning, and thus this incarnation will have an ending. Become comfortable with that and find ways to bring joy as you walk every day of your life. To bring joy and to bring enthusiasm. Now, by enthusiasm, I don't mean, rah, rah, rah. But chi, energy, prana, interest, if you will, curiosity. Have curiosity. Well, so-and-so, I know that they've gone through what I've gone through. I wonder how they did it. We went to have lunch with my guru a few months after Swami Mayanandaji, his beloved wife, had transitioned. And my husband offered his condolences. And Kriyananda said, I was happy before I met Rebecca. I was very happy in my life with her. And I will be happy now. I am happy now. And I am working to sustain that happiness. Didn't mean that he didn't miss her. It doesn't mean he didn't miss her, for he did. But what an attitude. There once was a man who lost all his money. And all of those around him lost their money. But he was not moaning and crying. And the boy said to him, I don't understand. This person has jumped off the roof, they lost their money. This person is crying, they lost their money. I know, you had as much or more than they did, and you've lost it. What's the difference? I still have this. I made it before, I'll bring it back again. You have been happy in this life, you have been successful in this life, you have been happy in your other lives, you have been loved, you have been successful, you have had all of your dreams fulfilled. What you have had, you may have again. What you have now, you may sustain. It may look as if there is an ebb and a flow and an ebb and a flow, because there is. There is, my beloved. But you will have that which you wish the most in your life. Make that which you wish the most something that you can carry with you through all of the ebbs and the flows of the goodness of life. Make it something, one thing, which is meaningful to you, so that you don't become bored with it, you don't become tired of it, you don't want to give it away, but you can sustain it. Sustain it with joy, sustain it with enthusiasm. Now I'm going to make another suggestion and then we're going to meditate. I know people who are enthusiastic about language. They love to learn language. And that's their joy. People who love to learn to cook, that's their joy. People who love to garden, that's their joy. Do not let your life slip away by spending time doing things that do not feed you, but that dull your consciousness. Look at your life. Take a moment and look at your life and let go of those things that are dulling your consciousness. All you have to do is find one thing. If you open the door to your creativity, it will flow. It will be amazing how it will flow. As you find that one thing you are enthusiastic about, your mind will become enthusiastic about life and about all these different aspects of life. And you will be amazed. I picked up a book at the bookstore, and it's called, I think it's called Let Me Tell You. And it's a story of a character in one of Shakespeare's plays. Let me just say that. And the entire book is written only using the words that she used in the play. Oh, what an interesting thought. What an interesting and fun and exciting idea. The person had that idea, and they were certainly enthused about it, and they worked hard, and they created something. And I'm not saying you have to write a book and get it published. I'm not saying enthusiasm is about doing anything great in the world. It is about bringing that joy to your life. Bringing joy back to your life and knowing that you are, yes, you're good enough to be joy-filled. It's acceptable for you to be joy-filled. And if this moment is a valley, you're not feeling joy-filled, look up and see the speck of light and know that in time your valley will lift and be flooded with light and flooded with fresh flowers, spring flowers, flooded with laughter and joy and music. That you have that which you need to bring that back to your life. It just takes time and patience and interning. Become like Swami Pranananda, devoted to bringing joy to your life and bringing joy to others. Be enthusiastic about something in your life. And let us now turn inward and meditate. Namaste. Sitting with your spine erect, placing your hands in the Om Mudra upon your thighs, turning your head to the left, exhaling twice. Bring the head back to the center. Now begin to watch the breath. Take a long, deep inhalation and exhalation. Use the sipping breath. Draw the energy from the limbs to the trunk. From the trunk to the spinal column. From the base of the spine to the sun center. Move that energy out as a golden ball of light and expand it. Sweep around your body to the left, encasing your entire being in golden light. And do this 3 times. Expand that golden light. And ascend upward. Ascend as high as you are able to the high place. In front of you, you see a mountain. A path up the mountain. Begin to ascend the path through the forest. Coming to the clearing, there's a meadow. And walk through the meadow. And now return to the mountain. Ascending, ascending, ascending. Until you reach a clearing. In the clearing is a shrine. At the front of the shrine is Lord Ganesh, the remover of obstacles, the bringer of joy, of laughter, of wealth. Sit in front of the Lord. Sit in front of the Divine One, in whatever form you choose. Feel the mantra pouring down upon you, sweeping clear. Hot heat. Om Namaste Ganapataye Twameva Pratyakshan Tatwamasi Twameva Kevalan Bhartasi Twameva Kevalan Dhartasi Twameva Kevalan Hartasi Twameva Sarvan Kalvidam Brahmasi Tumsak Shatat Masanityam Rutam Vachami Sacham Vachami Avatwamam Avavoktaram Avashotaram Avadotaram Avadhataram Avanucha Namavashisham Avapashtatat Avapurastat Avadokshanatat Avachorwatat Avotratat Sarvatomam Pahi Pahi Samantat Tum Vinmayas, Tum Chinmaya, Tum Anandamayas, Tum Brahmamayat, Tum Satchirananda, Twitiosi, tum pratyakshan brahmasi, tum annamayosi, sarvan jagadidan tvato jayate, sarvan jagadidan tvatas tishtati, sarvan jagadidan twila meshati, tum bhumirapo naloni lo namaha, tum chatwari vakpadani, tum gunatrayati, tahatum deyatrayati, tahatum kalatrayati, tahatum mular hastityo sinityam, tum Brahma, tum Vishnu, tum Rudra, Indus, tum Agnis, tum Vayus, tum Suryas, tum Chandramas, tum Brahma Bhurbhupasvaram. Ganadin Purva Mucharya Varnadin Tananantana Manaswaras Parataraha Adhemdula Sitchatarina Ruda Metatava Marswarupam Makarva Purava Uprupam Anaswaras Chancha Rupam Binduratara Rupam Narasaranam Sagihita Sandihi Saishaganesha Vidya Ganakarichihi Nitru Gayatri Shandaha Ganapatra Devata Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha Om Shanti 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 Om Shanti 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 Om Shanti 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 Harit Om. The doorway to the shrine beckons to you. You walk into the shrine of healing. You see a pool and waterfall of light in the back. Walk to the pool of light. Submerge yourself in the light. Walking through the pool to the waterfall. Standing under the waterfall of light. Feel the light pouring upon your crown center. Filling every cell of your being with light, with Anandic bliss. Feel all of the karmas washing away. All of the heavy karmas washing away. The light filling the place. Walking from the waterfall through the pool of light, you feel yourself vivified and strengthened. of the shrine. And Lord Ganesh is there pouring forth its blessings upon you, filling you, vivifying you, sweeping clear your path. Calling upon your Ishta Devata, you join together three and return to the high place of meditation. Gathering here as a Sangha, see yourself in the circle of the Sangha. Let us send forth our blessings, our spiritual energy to those in need. O ye powers that be, thou knowest better than we that which they need. We call upon thee to send it to them, to join with us as we send forth our intent, that all of life be blessed to the highest good with that which it needs most. O ye powers that be, thou knowest better than I that which is my highest good. I call upon thee to assist me to find that highest good, to assist us to walk in the highest good. O ye powers that be, pour forth thy blessings, join with us, that life may be ever more harmonious and joy-filled for all. That the hunger be filled, that the loneliness be filled, that the wisdom pour forth, that the joy pour forth, that the sadness be lifted. And let us chant the Om Shanti mantra together, radiating that forth from your sun center. Feel that Om Shanti radiating forth into the universe, that all who are in need will receive. Om Shanti, 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 Om. 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 Be thou blessed, be thou blessed, be thou triply blessed. Feel the golden dewdrops of Anandic bliss pouring forth upon your crown center, filling every cell of your being with Ananda, Ananda, Ananda. Ananda, 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 Ananda. Namaste. For your blessings, for the joy of your presence, for sharing this time together, for sharing your yoga city. It is always a special blessing to share these Sundays with you. Namaste. Namaskar.